Well, it is my honor to introduce you to Deb Drummond. As you can see, she is a dynamic, fun, a powerful woman, and we're so blessed to be. There's a reason why we got on the Deb train, right? But she is the founder of the 262 Women's Movement, and the motto is stand up, show up, speak up, yes, you. And includes summits, media opportunities like summits, international best-selling book, which I think Deb mentioned, and there's still an opportunity for you to get involved if you'd like to. But Deb has a huge slew of awards behind her name. She most recently earned a Stevie Award for Women Helping Women. Go figure on that one, right? Because we've seen just within this little space how much she is women-centered in supporting them. But within the last 4 days, she also received the Wall of Fame Woman in Unity Hero Award. A mouthful, but it says a lot, right? So Deb is all about helping women find their voice and then share it to the world. I mean, she sits down with you and says, where do you want to go and how can we help you get there? She's been awarded for abilities in top performance, acquisition, and increasing business revenues. And for this, she's been featured in Success, that was a mouthful, magazine 48 times. So let's just say she is a rock star in the business arena. And as a human being, she's over the top. She creates the ripple effect wherever she goes. And some things you might not know about Deb, her favorite shows growing up were Columbo, Ellery Queen, and she's seen The Bourne Ultimatum over 10 times. I bet that's a record, right? And her favorite music at the moment, because she's a huge music fan, is Respect by Aretha Franklin. So her gift to everybody, you're going to want to grab this, is because these classes are amazing. You're going to learn more in an hour with Deb than you would in 4 weeks with anyone else. I guarantee you. Not only is your mind going to be blown, but you're going to have all these ideas and go, oh my gosh, I know what I can do, right? So her gift to everyone is a free class in profit calling or trade show success or media results, plus a free upgrade on a video in the business planner, which here is my copy. You want to get this business planner. It is a game changer. And then her one-on-one, again, just like Kathy, like you want to get your email ready in the chat and be listening because it's a private Zoom or an in-person lunch and a free quote in the 2026 planner. And Deb is going to be sharing with us how to run your business like $1 million CEO.
Am I? Thank you. That's the most cool. And even though I'm sitting here ranting and raving like, you should go to an ask party and you should step up and you should be into it, I think most of us, or I'll speak for myself, is it gets, sometimes it's a little like, wow, to have to sit there and listen back. But when you think about, the 33 years or the times or what it's taken to be able to achieve some of those things, and that's why I'm so inspired around sisterhood. And it's International Women's Day. I debated whether to talk about business. I'll be completely transparent. Tomorrow I'm talking about the stretch of significance. So it'll be a little bit different. But the reason why I want to talk about why it's important for women to learn how to run their business like $1 million CEO, you may not quest to have $1 million, and that's okay. But to be able to have financial flow, and it's really because I feel it's time for women entrepreneurs to no longer be vulnerable, that we need to be viable and sustainable, right? We always talk about success is an interesting definition, and it can be all sorts of things. I feel successful, that my 21-year-old son still wants to hang out with me. I'm like, I did some good things, like, you know what I mean? Or my daughter sends me a card and goes, hey, thanks for being a good yeah. To me, that's pretty great and successful. But I also want to talk about vulnerability because I've been an entrepreneur, and I keep saying 33 years, and I'm going to keep it there because I don't want to talk about it being anymore. Is that I have, most people have, and when I'm talking to my clients that want to do some more deeper work or private work or what have you, they have sat on a similar networking event just like this, or gone to an event live, and on the inside, they're worried about themselves financially. On the outside, they're trying to figure it out. and they're quietly wavering on the inside because their businesses aren't where they need to be yet, or they're not producing this yet, or they're frigging tired. And so I think that, people have asked me many times, how did you do this and how did you do that in terms of my business accolades? And I learned very early on it was worth the investment. And look, I've had my back against the wall financially many times too. And I honestly, I will own, I put myself there because I wanted the growth. But for me to be able to learn what I needed to do, I did a lot of, financial faith leaping as we launched the channel, and put myself so that I would learn the skills on how to do the things that I needed to do. Because you may say it to yourself, I can't afford, you want to grow in your business, right? But I can't afford a VA. I can't afford a coach. I can't afford that speaking. I can't afford that new computer. I can't afford that. We don't want that to be the case. We want you to have a knowingness inside because you've done it before. Financial flow and sustainability is important because if you are financially sustained, you get to say yes to the things you want to say yes to and no to the things that you don't. And it starts to give you choices in your business. And many times we come from not having choices. By nature, women that I've talked to, we understand survival. We understand strife. We understand survival. Many of us have done it. Many of us have had to rebuild. Many of us had to path. You may be the first person in your family to even lay a path. You may be the first entrepreneur. You may be the first, whatever it is. So we've had to lay track and pioneer. Many of the people that I see on here are pioneering, and pioneering goes 8 generations, by the way. The first person isn't the first pioneer. They laid, they may have cut the trees down, but there's a lot of paths that have to happen before a sector rises, right? So there's multiple pioneers in each sector. And so that's why I think it's important for women to know how to run their business like $1 million CEO, because honestly, it gives you more equity, it gives you more viability, it gives you more rights.
Absolutely. And mindset being such an important aspect of that as well, right?
Yeah.
I love what you said about choices and reframing what we think of success as the ability to have choices, right? To whether they're yes or no is a very interesting dynamic. And if we thought about it a little bit more that direction, right, it could ease that. Okay, I don't have choices now. I got my back up against the wall. How do I create this environment where I get more choices? So I super appreciate that slightly different perspective. So we know that, that you kind of talk about that most people have a want plan versus a business plan. And can you give us a little explanation of that, as well as how we might start moving to a business plan versus a want plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's, first of all, we all want. So want's not a bad word. But I think some infrastructure around your want is helpful. And, I work with entrepreneurs, I work with creatives, like my girlfriend's like, Deb makes wealthy healers, because I think we're all healers and creatives. But, if I was to ask anyone, what is this next year? What are you looking for from your business? I want my business produce. I want my business to get bigger. I want right? And I love to hear that they know that their business is not them, right? Want is a nice way to be able to define that it's outside of yourself, but it's also in control of yourself. What I love to hear is, well, when I did my business plan, my media plan, and my marketing plan, what it looks like my business will do this year, and I wanted to do that or better. Now, I've always been the person that gets to do what I call the unsexy stuff, but to me, it's super sexy. I have a brain that just loves to do things like reverse engineer and strategic planning and where you should be in your third quarter and all the things. Kind of like, we were talking earlier about some ideas that, we were looking at in terms of my business in 2026 or 2027 or what have you, my first business or what have you. So if you can infrastructure that, I think it's important. I mean, I don't know, maybe on one hand, in 33 years, I've sat across from someone who's asking for my help. Then when I ask about if they have a business plan, that they say yes. And it's not a bad thing. Most of us scribbled our first business plan on a piece of paper. Mine was literally on a piece of paper when I was taking a massage class. How many massages do I have to do per day, per week? And that would pay the rent. And I was pregnant with my daughter. First business plan ever. So I'm not saying that you won't succeed, because we know that there's people that are in the multi-millions that never had it, never had that, but they got themselves surrounded pretty fast and pretty quick, because the growth will just kick you out. If you don't have a business plan, so there's a business plan. Really, I can do an ad hoc business plan in about 90 minutes, and so can you, with the help of each other, right? So a business plan doesn't have to be, you have to understand accounting or market research or whatever. You can pretty well do it in 90 minutes, at least an ad hoc one. And then there's marketing and media, and people tend to get those confused. So media markets your marketing. They don't go together. Oh, what do you do for marketing? Oh, on Instagram and on Facebook or whatever, pick a couple of socials. That's not a media marketing plan, because once you find out what your business will yield for you, it will tell you how much time you need to put in or not put in, who you need to be hanging out with, and what phone calls you need to make. And then you get to decide what you want it to yield, and that will call out to you how much marketing media you need to inject in. Sometimes people think they're doing way more than they need. Right? They're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do that. No, you don't have to do that. Or, oh, that's what I need to do. So plans are like anything. I mean, a lot of us have, insurance plans or marital plans or relationship plans. We plan on going to Hawaii for Christmas. Well, what is your business plan on doing at Christmas? You should know that. So it's just having that conversation. I'm one, I know a lot of people are like, I just let it flow and it totally works for me, and I call it in, and look, and I'm as holistic as the best of them, but I would love my plan to flow instead of just waiting for the flow. So have a plan that flows. You might change directions, but at least you are consciously making a choice to change directions, because hopefully you're changing for better that, or I say better or more. Do a plan, then go, here it is, better, this or better, hashtag this or better in your lives and in your business. So that's how I answer that question, my friend. Want versus plan, like a want plan versus a business plan.
Sure. And if I'm hearing you correctly too, like you're suggesting that people revisit that plan every so often, which I'm guessing is kind of like where the planner comes in, right? Because it's set up very strategically, so somebody could take that and it really will help them line out a plan.
So yes, and what I like about, so yes, I produced a planner, because not everybody can hang out with me, and I don't say that in a clean kind of way. I just mean, like, sometimes it's easier. But also, if you have a plan, there's no surprises. Right now we're in March, right? And a lot of people hit October and they're like, I've got 2 months left to the year to hit my want number. But you would know 6 months if you were actually just doing the monthly thing in there. There's weekly. If you skip it and do the monthly, at least you'll know in August, and it's going to give you August, September, October. Like, at least you'll know that there's no surprises, because then you can, and I don't like the word because we've all done it, is, alter. I'm not going to say the one that starts with P and ends with T, but you can alter your numbers and alter your activity to match what that looks like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plan gives you that ability to adjust and be a little more flexible, right?
Yeah. A lot of people love to get their analytics from their social media, but a lot of people don't like to do their analytics on their own business. Like, they're like, ooh, I got this. Like, we did 5 million media impressions in the last 12 months in the book. I should see that convert. But some people are like, yay, and they don't know how they did it. But, so you can do it again.
Yeah. And that's a great point, right? Yeah. So keeping track of your numbers. So what do you mean when you say that how is the most important word in the title of your talk?
Oh, how to become a $1 million CEO. And for those of you that are taking notes, that's cool. Look, there's a whole class that I did. It's actually 12 on how to become how to become a $1 million CEO. It leans into the direct sales business, but Desi's going to put it in the chat, where you can watch a very robust video that dives a little deeper. So if you want to know more about how and all the things, and that's free. The other part of it's almost free, but that's free. So how you do everything is really how top performers are $1 million CEOs, because we all by nature have the same things to do in our businesses, our projects, our nonprofits. The elements are pretty well the same. You do marketing, you do media, you do this, you do that, you do accounting, all the stuff, right? And it's how you do that. when you talked about me achieving some goals with Success Magazine and being in there a few times, I chose to those numbers that rose to the top were considerable, and I chose the media platform I chose at that time was trade shows, right? And so I won't lie, it took me thousands of dollars to nail the perfect show because I kept trying things and analyzing things and testing things and put them here and say this, change the table and wear different clothes and say a different thing. Oh my gosh, I practiced so many pitches. You know, Adele was talking earlier about pitches. You do it till you get it right. And then when people say yes 10 times over, you're like, don't change one word. Well, that took, you know, probably close to 40 or 50 or $60,000 just in that trade show world to do, right? And I've done a lot of shows, so that wasn't just one show, by the way, or one year. So when you nailed it, it was about how we did everything, and then I could duplicate that by teaching other people and watching them rise to the top of their numbers as well. So so that's what I mean by how. So I'm going to give an example. I'll give an example of trade shows because I'm on that theme right now. So two people go to a same trade show, same show, same, they pay the same, they're in the same location, same. Okay. And one person walks away and goes, oh my gosh, I would have paid double. And I tell people, unless you're walking away from a trade event, and we just did it at the Oscars, if you don't walk away and go, it was that successful, I would pay double, there's probably something you need to switch. And I don't mean to be, you know, about that, but oh, it rained, like, or the other person goes, well, it was raining. You know, they walked away and they didn't have that experience. So like, it was a cool show. I met some cool people, not quite what I was hoping for, but, you know, and they're hopeful. That's the other person walking away. One's walking away going, can I sign up for next year? Like right now. And I'm going to make a bigger booth. And the other one's like, oh, that was kind of cool. I'm thinking about it. Maybe, you know, there's that same show, same this, same that, same that. And it's usually on how they did their show. It's how they did their show. Everyone knows that before we go to a major trade event, right? We're all in a group. We were intentionally figuring out the show 3 months before we went, right? So there's different things that people can do. So there's literally, I counted it late last night just to give the right numbers. There's 15 to 20 things that someone needs to how differently when they're doing a trade event. And so it's the prep, it's before, it's what you're doing. I can kind of give you 3 things that, just to give you an example of how. So most people have a really great list of everything they need to bring to a show, like this and that, and pens and cash register or stripe, whatever it is that you stripe, but they don't have a list of their intentions. They go in like an entrepreneur. You know, I'm happy if someone signs up for my course or buys my book or, you know, or what have you. They kind of go in with an all-in mindset, which is perfectly normal, right? But what is it that you're there for? What is it that you're hoping to yield? Double down on that. So most people spend a lot of time in the prep, but not prep in the right area. Where's my head at? It is a big show. I've never been here before. All the things that happen. And so I'll give you an example. We do trade events. I give this an example because it's easy, right? So every event that we do for my son, because he's new in business and he needs to build his Instagram, one person is responsible for giving a gift to have somebody popping up their phone and hitting Instagram. That's it. That's their solo job on the show. Handled. I always say don't have more than 2 real strong desires from a trade event. The other one is I say they don't take the time to dress to impress. And I'm not necessarily talking about the clothes you're wearing. They don't dress the floor of the booth. They don't dress the table of the booth. They don't dress they don't dress to impress. And it's everything. It's the booth, it's the table, it's the floor, it's the banner, it's the this, it's the verbiage. It's the verbiage. You know, they don't know who they're really talking to and why they're really talking to them. And they don't know what makes that person eyes light up, right? And the other thing is that a lot of people don't want to take the time to learn the skills. You want to do a trade show, it's part of your thing. You only do 2 or 3 a year. You don't really want to invest in learning the skills. But if you know how, if you take your skills, your show skills or your sales skills, and that's why there's going to be a profit calling class. If you can't up your skills, you can close on a trade show floor. But most people are like, you know, I need 2 hours on the phone to do that. Not if you actually practice those skills and have some, what I call profit calling skills. I've seen people close $20,000 deals. I've closed $1,000 deals after meeting people for an hour on a trade show floor. So once you curate yourself well enough, you'll be able to, and you practice the skills that it takes, which is some skill, it's some work. It's kind of like doing your business plan over your want plan. It's kind of boring and dry, but it won't be when you see some zeros in your bank account. And you become a sustainable entrepreneur. And you're like, yeah, I can do that. Oh, you want to go to the Emmys next time? Great, sure, I'll go.
Yeah, absolutely. So given all that, how can we learn all those things?
Well, stay on to the end of today. No, it happens over the course of time. You know what I mean? We learn by many different ways that we learn, hanging out with the people and all the things. But I've asked Desi to put the classes in. So like I say, we do free or almost free. So there's a class going in on trade shows. There's a in the chat right now. I'm not in the chat, by the way. If you send me a message, please send it. Otherwise, I don't play in the chat on the show. But there's one on profit calling. There's one on media. There's one on trade shows. She's put in the $1 million one as well. And look at, we're not, our ears are open to what is going on for women in terms of your profits, your nonprofits, your entrepreneurs, or whatever it is, or you're supporting someone that is self-funding. I mean, I'm obviously talking to the self-funding crowd right now. Not every speaker will be, but I'm talking to the self-funding. So if you have someone in your life that's self-funding, we're hearing a lot of words about AI. So me and Desi, because you're going to think I did nothing last night, but everything. But you know what? Desi has put something together to help women understand AI and expand the whole thing. It's a 90-minute class that she's done, and she's put it together to help the sisters and also the sisters that know the sisters that need help in that area, because you need a safe place to go. I don't know what ChatGPT is, never used it before, don't want to, I have resistance or whatever it is, or I'm using it, I'm not sure it's working. And so that, she's the CTO. Her technology is her genius. And so she's put a couple of classes together that I'm going to co-facilitate. I'm going to learn. I'm coming to, and so she's going to put those in the chat. And I believe that we've lined them up for March to give everybody some common ground and some common place. So that's how. The other way of how is practice. Watch for the results that you get when you say a word. If it doesn't work, change it.
Great. Yeah, excellent advice as always. And like I said, folks, you want to take advantage of Deb's classes. Your mind will be expanded and blown, right? All at the same time. So
yeah, we got gifts, right?
I know. I was like, what time it is, people. All right. Is everybody getting in there?